Hey, what's up guys, DDOG here, bringing you guys a Call of Duty World War II update video today. This is a little something different, but I figure with today's update being so large, I should probably make a video about it, giving you the main topics and what happened, what changed, along with my opinions and what I think about everything. And also today is DLC 2, came out today, so it's a pretty big day for Call of Duty World War II. It's basically going to be like a whole new game, honestly, because this update is the biggest update in Call of Duty history in any game when it comes to making core changes to the game's like fundamentals aspects. This is definitely the biggest ever. So what you guys are going to be seeing in the background today is just some gameplay I had on Shipment 1944 when the map first came out a little bit ago. And I'm just going to do a little bit of commentary here, read you some of the patch notes, and like I said, give you some thoughts and opinions. So here we go. So right here off the top, here's the division changes. There's new ranking unlocks for each division. Basically, infantry is an additional primary attachment. Second, pistol attachment and swap weapons faster. While aiming down sights, have less idle sway and move faster while aiming. For airborne, it is fire guns while sprinting and diving, reload while sprinting, climb over obstacles faster and no damage from falling, and sprint over time, or sprint faster over time. Armored, which I feel like now is probably the most OP division in the game, takes significantly less explosive and fire damage, immune to shell shock and tactical equipment, increased bullet penetration through surfaces, and greatly reduced flinch when shot. We move on to Mountain next. We have invisible to enemy recon and controlled score streaks. Killed enemy death locations are hidden. No name or reticle change when enemies aim at you. And silent movement. Expeditionary, we have double lethal and tactical and enhanced equipment use. Munitions replenish from killed enemies over time. Improved tacticals and easier to destroy war buildables, and equipment damage paints enemy on the minimap. And then lastly, for the resistance division, we have minimap indicator and scrambler, close hostiles, enemy movements are easier to hear, kills and assists grant intel ping of nearby enemies, and easier to spot targets and increased minimap coverage. And then here are the loadout selection changes, some of the ones that I think stand out and are a pretty big deal. So now you can use the LMG bipod and sniper sharpshooter automatically whenever you're using an LMG, so you don't have to be in the armored or the mountain division to use those anymore. Let's see. Each division has a fourth perk, and their levels have been adjusted and rebalanced. As I said, I just went through each division. All players now have unlimited sprint, and the sprint speed did get lowered because of this. But I know throughout the game's lifespan, a lot of people have been wanting unlimited sprint. We've had it the past few years in Call of Duty. Sledgehammer came out and said they didn't want to do this for this game because they wanted it to feel realistic, but they ended up putting it in the game today, so I'm excited to see how that plays and what that feels like. 3 primary attachments for all loadouts, no matter what division or what weapons you're using. Also 1 piece of both lethal and tactical equipment, no matter what division you're using. Launchers can be equipped for all loadouts. They got rid of the perk where you had to have that specifically on to have a launcher with your class. They now put the rifle grenade in the game, so grenade launchers are here in Call of Duty World War II. The noob tube is back. Let's see, a suppressor is available for all pistols, no matter what division. And for that, the pistol suppressor has a 15% range reduction, and the SMG's range reduction is 30%. Primed is no longer in the game, and neither is Bang. Prestige tokens that were spent on these are refunded, and associated challenges are automatically completed. And then there are 2 new basic trainings that were added to the game, these being Blitzkrieg and Clandestine, I think that's how you say it. But Blitzkrieg is streaks are earned by kills instead of score. And then a bonus, streaks are improved and select a 4th streak, which I feel like in this game could be very vital, because in this game the kill streaks aren't necessarily the greatest. I mean, there's a couple good ones, but having 4 could really, that could be a big deal. And then for the other one, clandestine, slain enemies drop intel packs that reveal nearby hostiles. And then the bonus, intel ping at the start of each life. So this sounds pretty interesting. Basically, whenever you kill an enemy, they're going to drop an intel pack. I'm not sure what that's going to look like or if you have to collect it, but it is going to reveal other nearby enemies as well. So that should be interesting to see that in play. And then also we have the resistance and infantry shifts. So like I said, the second pistol attachment and swap weapons faster to infantry to align with its marksmanship focus. And filled a gap in resistance with enemy movements are easier to hear to align with its counterintelligence focus. So I don't know. It's definitely a lot of interesting changes to divisions. We know that this year divisions were new to Call of Duty World War II instead of the Pick 10 system that we were used to. And I think they just realized that the community wasn't too fond of it. I thought it was different, something neat. But I'm kind of glad they're making these changes. One thing that upsets me is that they waited all the way until, April 10th to make these changes. So over basically halfway through the game's life cycle. But it's better late than never, I guess is what they say. So it's interesting to see how the game's going to feel after this, and I am excited to hop on today when I get time and see how different it is. Just a few more small changes here. Like I said, global sprint speed was reduced. What else do we have here? They nerfed the launcher damage and projectile speed of the Panzerschreck. The bazooka was buffed slightly, but also had a nerf to the damage department. The frag and sticky grenade max damage was nerfed approximately 10%, which is interesting, because we know how big of a role grenades play in this game. They reduced shell shock and earthquake effects from the grenades significantly. That is huge. I feel like that's been a big problem in this game, especially when you're, on your team, and your teammate's throwing a grenade, you're shooting at a guy, and all of a sudden your teammate's grenade blows up and it gets you killed. So I think that's a pretty big fix that people have been asking for a long time. I'm glad they put that into the game. Let's see. Energetic had some things changed. Increased sprint speed, removed sprint again sooner. Let's see, man, what other things? Let's see. For the forage, adds resupply bullets over time, adds extra magazines, and removes swap weapons faster. With ordnance, you can no longer re-roll your own care packages, but instead you can killed enemies drop streak packs that fill your meter. So that's an interesting change to ordnance. I don't really use that too often, but that's interesting that you can't re-roll your care packages anymore. The incendiary shells attachment was buffed. So now it gives additional shells, so 7 for the combat shotgun, 8 for all other shotguns. That's interesting. The range reduction of the shells was buffed from 10% to 15%, and they sped up the loading of shells for the combat shotgun. The fire rate when using the LMG bipod was also buffed. It went up 9%. For sniper sharpshooter, they buffed it to where you can now hold your breath for 10 seconds instead of 4, which is huge for snipers. That's actually a big difference. 6 seconds. That's pretty. That's big. That's interesting. I look forward to sniping today and seeing how that works. 80% reduction from fire and explosive damage, which is also huge. Move faster while aiming from infantry 4 and scoped. So that's basically the biggest changes. There's a few other, bugs that were fixed and stuff like that, but I figured I'd want to go over the big changes with you guys. All of this can be found in the patch notes that were released today. And like I said, guys, basically this is a whole new game. The biggest update in any Call of Duty ever. And I'm very anxious to hop on today and see how different the game actually feels when playing it, rather than just reading the differences, but witnessing them firsthand. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.